Good morning, dear souls. Hello. Hello, I see you. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you're having an amazing morning. We're here for day 2 of Purpose Plus Profits. My name is Misty Petrella. Likely, if you're on my feed, you know that already. And I am using we started yesterday, but the next 20 days from today to talk all about how to bring your purpose way more strongly together with your profits. Because if you are leading in the way that you are right now, I hope, dear one, you need both. And if you are feeling lack, then so is your impact. So is the shift you're trying to help make on this planet. And we need you deeply. As I talked about yesterday, we're in some challenging times, and we need people who are ready to step forward in love and light and help lead through this time. Also, especially coaches, healers, consultants, therapists, people who are interested in the up-leveling consciousness of our planet. We need you now. So thank you so much for being here. So that's kind of the recap from yesterday. I want to take a moment here to get into your heart space. So we're going to take 2 minutes at the start of every one of these calls to invite people into their heart space. So for just a moment, I want you to put your feet on the ground. Put your hands on your heart if that helps. It sometimes helps me because we spend so much time with our energy up here. We're going to take some time and shift it down here into your heart space. So please do that. Take a breath, take a moment. And engage. If you want to close your eyes, please do. If you don't, that's okay too. But I want you to check out the quality of what's happening in your chest. How do you feel today? How do you feel right now? Just breathe into your heart space. How do you feel right now? However you feel, you're bringing that energy into your work. So understanding how you feel is an important part of that. So put your hands on your chest, just breathe. You don't need to change anything. I just want you to spend a moment becoming aware. Acknowledge yourself for all that you're doing. Send yourself some love. It's really important. Breathe. I want you to ask yourself a question, which we're going to be asking a lot here in the next 21 days, which is, what does your heart need from you in order to make the impact you want to make? What does your heart need from you in order to make this large impact you want to make on the planet? Maybe you just even ask, what does my heart need from me today? Important question. All right, that's 2 minutes. 2 minutes every day for the next 21 days. We're going to be just spending a little bit of time down here in your heart. It will help make all of this, bringing your purpose and your profits together, so much easier. Okay? So today I want to talk about purpose and what it is and what it isn't. It can be really confusing when we start looking for our purpose, especially if we feel really called to serve, right? Which you probably do if you're on my feed. It can feel big or difficult So I found I have this story. It's not mine. Actually, I'm not sure whose it is because there's no name on it, which is terrible. If ever you are posting a blog post, please put your name on it. I would love to get credit to whoever's story this is. But it's a story about finding your purpose and what it means. So hopefully it'll make this whole thing a little bit easier for you. So a very frustrated young woman went to see the village elder And she said, I don't know what I want to do with my life. How do I find my purpose? I thought I knew, and I've sort of been knocked off course. I don't know what my purpose is. And the older woman said, follow me. And so silently they trudged together this very long distance to get to a large and powerful river. And they found many, many people prospecting all over the place, panning for gold. And the older woman, the young woman was shocked. Wow, there are so many people. What are they doing? And the older woman said, they're all here prospecting for gold. There are 3 types of people here. And the young woman said, I'm not sure what you mean. There are those who strike gold right away, excited to take their plunder, cash it in, and live so comfortably for the rest of their lives. That's the first type. Then there is the type who pan for years. They know that there's gold there. And they've seen others strike it rich. It's just they persist until they find the gold they've been searching for, even if they struggle. And what about the third type? Asked the young woman. The third type are the individuals who get frustrated that they haven't found what they're looking for. So after a day, a week, a year, maybe even more, they give up and walk away and never find their gold. And slightly confused, the young woman asked, what has this got to do with me finding my purpose? You made me come all the way down to this river, and you're telling me about finding gold. And the older woman said, yep, the age-old question. There are those in life who find their purpose, and it seems that they find it almost immediately. They feel called from a young age, and they have a very clear sense of who they are and what they are supposed to do. And they go after it with enthusiasm and tons of energy. Some have to look a bit harder, perhaps for many years, but if they persist and keep looking, they find what they are meant to live for. And finally, there are those who want to know their purpose, but they become frustrated with the search and give up too soon, returning to a life of wandering. The young woman looked a bit terrified at the older woman and said, can everyone find their purpose? The older woman smiled and said, is there gold in the river? How do I find my purpose? The younger woman is growing in frustration. The older woman stayed steady and said, keep looking. But what if I want to find it quicker? Daughter, there are no guarantees that you will find your purpose quickly. The only guarantee is that if you give up and stop looking, you'll never find it. The young woman became even more despondent, feeling she had wasted her entire day with this older woman, talking about this gold. The older woman put a hand on her shoulder and said, I see you're frustrated, but let me reassure you that if you find your true calling in life, if you step fully into your purpose, you will live with passion. You will make the world a better place. You will be richer than you could imagine and feel as though the very faces of the gods themselves are smiling down upon you. That may happen next week. It might happen next year. It might happen in the years ahead. But the search will be worth it, and your life will never be the same again. And for now, if you don't know your purpose, finding your purpose is your purpose. She rolled her eyes, the young woman, and said, thanks. Oh, there's one more thing, the older woman said. Just as those men and women need to go down and pan for the gold, to find it, we need to remain active in looking for our purpose. We don't find it sitting around, hoping to find it. It was getting late, and the two were almost back to the village, and the young woman turned around with so much on her mind to think about. And she hugged the older woman and ran off. And the older woman walked home knowing that she had spent the day fulfilling her purpose. I don't know for you guys, that story, every time I hear that story, I love it. It is an amazing story. So here's the question. Do you feel like you understand your purpose? Do you feel you have a handle on your calling? Before I knew very clearly what my purpose was, I got pushed around by a lot of my ideas. Sometimes I was excited about one thing and then I was excited about something else, and I had, I guess you could call it shiny purpose syndrome. I kept getting tossed about in that. So what I would encourage you to do is, if you don't know what it is, if you feel called to serve in some way, don't let this idea of, this is the thing I want to talk about for just a second about purpose. It can feel confusing and frustrating to not know what your purpose is very clearly. And until you do, we can have a tendency to want to look around and ask other people what our purpose should be. When I wasn't sure, all I kept journaling every day was, I'm so grateful that I very clearly understand my purpose that uses all of my gifts in the world to help serve in some way. So I journaled every day. Do you know what your purpose is? Are you clear? Do you feel like you have a grasp on it? Does it call you? Does it feel empowering? If you know what it is, please type it in the comments box below. I would love to hear what it is. It would be amazing. And if you are not sure, then I want you to commit to yourself. Commit to yourself here and now in this feed, in the comments box, that you'll commit to exploring it until you understand what it is. I used to go to a lot of healers or psychics, or I wanted someone to tell me. I wanted someone to reflect it to me. No one can do that for you. It is something that you need to find from inside of yourself. And that is a huge part of the journey of this exciting time to step into your gifts. It is so much more powerful if it comes from inside of you. I guarantee you that. Now, another thing about purpose is that people think there's one purpose for your whole life. No, not true. Your purpose is whatever your heart is calling you to do right now. Right now. Your purpose can shift. Maybe you fulfill the first one and you need to move to another one. It's not like you have one, some people do. Some people have one calling for their whole lives. But many, many of us think that our purpose is something that is a hard and fixed thing that is forever. And I am here to remind you, or to inform you, that that is absolutely not true. Your purpose is not a hard and fixed thing. Very likely it will shift. Anyone who's been a parent probably knows. At some time, you were like, my purpose is to have a child. Or hopefully that's the way it was for you, right? My purpose is to have a child. Eventually, you have the child, hopefully, God willing. Then a new purpose comes along. Happens. Okay? So I would encourage you, if you are feeling confused or unsettled about what your purpose is, just every day, spend a couple of minutes with your hands on your heart, asking. The answer will not come from up here. It will come from down here. If you feel irritated or frustrated by it, it's okay. It's simply waiting for you to see it. It's literally around you. It just needs some attention. All right, if you have any questions about your purpose, type them in the comments box below, please. I would love to hear from you. This is not something that needs to be, it can be a powerful tool for you. It can be something to help you move forward and feel excited and joyful about, but it's not meant to be this thing to beat yourself over the head with. Certainly not that. But dear one, we need you. We need you now. So please step into your purpose. Please commit to yourself that you will understand what it is. I send you so much love and light today. If you have any questions, like I said, put them in the comments box below. Please head on over to my Facebook group, Entrepreneurs Leading with Love. We're taking this discussion to another level over there, so please jump on in. I hope you're having an amazing week. Shine bright, my friends. Mwah. See you soon.